Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick here from Extra Time. Extra Time, that's a mistake. I'll get my hat off. I've had too many sessions, I think, today, and I've certainly going to have to get my thoughts back to here. Here we are. There's my hat. The right hat is on. I'll get the right session. I've had too many sessions today. This has been a double header, incredible as it stands. Can you all hear me? Just to make sure, because it's a rather darkened screen today, I've noticed. But let's have a look here. Again, we've witnessed two incredible matches today in a double header. We've had, of course, Punjab Kings get walloped by SRH, Sunrisers Hyderabad. We saw Warner, obviously Bairstow, and the likes of Williamson do very well and actually allow themselves to perhaps claw back a few positions. They've actually gone from being absolutely last, having not won a game, to a position where they actually are now, I think they're fifth on net run rate, which is indicative of the play. Morgan is useless. Here we are, Joseph Basamaratri saying Morgan is useless. He can't score, can't win matches. He's a liability to the team. It is beginning to look that way a little bit. I must say it's a concern for KKR. Indeed, it's a worry, but certainly CSK played particularly well. You've got to take your hats off to Cummins and Andre Russell and even Dinesh Karthik. The way they play, they scored lots of sixes. MSD is back. Yes, Himanshu, he is back. He certainly is back. There's no doubt about the fact that he is back. Oh, that's wonderful. So happy you're here.
Good day, Norman. How are you?
I had to use the other phone. My other phone, which is my better phone, is playing up, so I had to use this phone. So it's clear, is it?
Yes.
So we're on. We've got our people on. I mean, never. I think one of the gentlemen I was just speaking to on another program, his name is Vijay. He's an extremely famous author. He's written for countless autobiographies in a magnificent way. He's well respected. He and others were talking about the fact that we have a situation where it's brilliant for people to be at home in such difficult times and being able to watch two games of cricket from their confined to their home where they're restricted. It's quite incredible. It's just a magnificent, even though some of the games were quite unusual with the results, there was certainly a lot to be said with the way that CSK played. They're now officially first.
Yes.
Your MS Dhoni has done very, very well. The likes of Andre Russell and his performance. Pat Cummins was impressive.
Yes.
And then Sunrise Hyderabad. Everyone was predicting the Punjab Kings would win that match, but it didn't happen at all. Punjab Kings were horribly ordinary. I think we're starting to see the firming of the top four.
Yes.
I've always maintained Mumbai Indians, CSK, or not CSK, DC and RCB would be there, but now CSK have leapfrogged, at least temporarily, into first place with the best net run rate. So I have a feeling that Dhoni may actually realise that this is his last season.
Just so you know, the CEO of CSK has confirmed that it's not.
Oh, you're right. No, I've heard the same thing. But yet, if they win the competition, he may think, aha, this is a crescendo to go out on. That's what I'm saying.
True.
He may play, if CSK come fifth and played not so well, he may continue another season.
He may continue. I suspect he may continue one more anyway. And that by the way, that would be a gift to not just CSK but anyone watching cricket and also the opposing team, because the beautiful thing is, I think the moment that sums it up is, I think when he played against Punjab, before the toss, Deepak Huda came up to speak to him, and he had his bat with him, and he was basically getting tips from MS Dhoni. So I think that pretty much sums up IPL, and it also sums up MSD, because that's who the greatness of Dhoni and what he means to IPL and Indian cricket specifically. And after the match, you see both teams mingling, talking, laughing, learning from him, just observing. So, what a gift he is to the country and just to the game of cricket. But I think, boy, if they go all the way, what a beautiful ending to a magical journey.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's early, but hello, Debashis.
Hi, Norman. Hi,
Can
Pretty.
you hear? My phone's different. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you hear each other loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay. So there must be something wrong with my phone because I'm hearing you, but it's a little bit muffled. But that's probably my phone rather than anything else. Okay. Today, where do we start? I mean, really, everyone was predicting Punjab Kings to win, but SRH won and won convincingly. They got a great run rate. It concerns me about Punjab in
Punjab.
particular.
Yeah.
They dropped Meredith and Richardson, deservedly so.
Good.
I think, you know what? I'd be surprised if those two get a game again. I really do.
Wow. I agree. And they may never be picked again for the IPL. And if that happens, so be it. I
Yeah,
think players need to realize that just because they got somebody bid, a large sum of money on them, it doesn't guarantee anything. They will never be invited back if they underperform. And I think they need to not take Indian franchises and boards for granted.
absolutely. I mean, the Australian dominance of this, I'll call it dominance, of this tournament is waning a little bit. A little bit. Pat Cummins played well, so yes. Stones is still around. There's Steve Smith. There are a few that are around, but it's becoming a little bit less. What's happened to Andrew Tye, Debashis? He's normally playing, isn't he?
Maybe team management doesn't feel him to be the right option at the moment, because these are strange things. That sometimes the selections of these teams are really does get a little bit weird, because you think something but it happens something else. So you never know what the team, because at the end of the day it's the team management that decides who they are going to play with.
Yeah. I do like I guess I do like it. It's a pity we haven't got David Graveney here today, because I wanted his take. He is in the epicenter of this whole Ed Smith sacking. I'll call it a sacking.
Wow.
The sacking went out gracefully. It looks like Ed Smith was sacked. And Monty Panesar spoke earlier on my show today about the fact that he thinks that he's not in the computer age. He's too old-fashioned, and I think that may be the case. What's your thoughts on this whole England selection changes?
I don't think so, because it was under Ed Smith that England won the World Cup.
Mhm.
England, being the number one, I think they have done reasonably well across the formats, being number one in two formats and number four in one. So that itself is a huge achievement, I would say. But then all of a sudden you strip him up and get the head coach to decide on the team. I think, and remember, England has been adopting this policy for 120 years. They have been adopting this policy for almost 100 years, more than 100 years, and all of a sudden you see that there is no selection committee. This is not the case for other cricket boards. So I don't know. Might be there is some issue with England cricket board, but definitely this is something which I feel is comes to me as a surprise.
Very true. Pretty. What excited you the most today? What's excited you the most today?
I think a billion people were waiting to see Dhoni bat, and boy, wasn't it glorious when he hit those fours. And when people say things like, "Why did he promote himself up?" I'm like, "Excuse me, you probably don't know anything about India or Indian cricket. There are a billion people who are dying to watch this man play, and one KD has the memories of the World Cup with that six. So incredible for him to." Uh, do it. And everybody, I mean, also don't forget those 17 runs that he made, that also helped